What's up, guys? In today's video we're doing these high steer arms. So the first step is drilling out this main hole. As you can see, I did on this one already. Then we're going to have to weld them together, but let's drill it. All right, now it's time to clean up these knuckles. Have to clearance this area and up top over here, as well as just grinding all the paint off and grinding all the rust off so I can paint them all nice. So after some time, you should be able to grind off that little nub. I might fill that up with weld before I end up putting this plate on, but it fits in like that. So now it's time to make clearance down here for this plate. Okay, so I cleaned up that knuckle with the wire wheel, and I have everything basically fit up where I want it to be. So I'm just taking a look at everything here and thinking about how exactly I want to weld this. I originally wanted to TIG weld it, but I don't have that much gas left, so I don't know if I want to start TIG welding it and then have to stop and then break out the other machine. So I'm still thinking about it a little bit, but what I'm basically going to do, I'm going to take this plate out. I had to hammer it in. I'm thinking I'm going to tack this here, tack this there, and then lay a weld here, lay a weld there. Actually, I don't know exactly. Probably try and weld up under there too as well. That's going to be a little annoying. I might MIG weld that, but I'm thinking of stick welding the rest if I don't TIG weld it. Just I feel more comfortable stick welding. It's not going to be the best, but it should definitely do. Okay, it's going to be a mess on the tailgate of my truck here, but I got the oxyacetylene with the rosebud tip on it to preheat this knuckle. This is cast steel, so I'm not going to use any special welding rod, just some 7018, and where I have to fill some gaps like in here, I'll probably 60-10 it, and I'm going to preheat it and measure the temperature with this little thing in between 400 and 600 degrees. I'm going to try and keep these ball joints in here without having them explode, which might be stupid, but we'll see. I'll try my best to heat all this up. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to heat the whole knuckle. I'm just going to heat the area that I'm welding. And I don't know, it might not be right, but I'm sure it'll work just fine. And then I'll wrap the knuckle up in a blanket and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, it's time to wrap this thing up. It's all welded fully. So definitely not the prettiest welds. But hey, it's gonna get the job done, isn't it? So after you weld them, I wrapped them up in this fiberglass blanket. I wrapped them real tight so no heat got out, and that's so the mild steel can cool at the same rate as the cast steel. The cast steel cools slower than the mild steel, so there's a chance of cracking. So when you wrap it up, you delay the mild steel from cooling down, and it gives you a better chance of not cracking. So then I let them cool until they were about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and that was enough to take them out and not risk them cracking. I painted them orange, and I did a pretty bad job. And now I'm looking at my clearances. This is how I'm setting mine up, and it definitely gets tight. It's going to be tight to that bolt. I had to shrink my track bar mount, still have to weld it. And I did that taper purposely just so it's easy to take in and out. But the angles are still looking pretty good. You can see that track bar almost hides directly behind the arm there. And unfortunately, we are nowhere near the bump stops on the factory knuckles. But considering the bigger tires, I already rub on my lower control arms. And I guess I could have accounted for that by making them more of a triangle or putting a bend in them. But that's just not going to work for this build. So this is as much angle as I'm going to be getting. And obviously the other side is going to be less when you steer it because that's how it's supposed to be. But they came out pretty good. I wish I TIG welded them, but the stick welds came out just fine. Nothing pretty. Nothing I'm really proud of, but
all right, keep it going. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Slow, slow, slow. Nice. Yep.